I'm halfway through. So.
Oh, are you? Am I waiting for you? Is that
You're
what it
waiting
is?
for me. Yeah, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Sorry, because I don't know if you remember the setup that I had broke when I made a new PC when I built
Oh,
one.
haven't
So
you got a Celeron 2 core, I believe? Oh, here we go.
I'm back to using.
This is the 2 versus 2 Masters Cup.
And welcome to our fourth game in this best of 5 finals. What an impressive last game it was, seeing the Allies dominate on rails and metal. This time, though, playing as the Allies on the south side. In the blue shorts, playing as the Soviets, it's Scotch. And in the yellow shorts, playing as the Brits, it is Nagano.
This is the 2 versus 2 Masters Cup.
And with a tentative click, we're now formally live.
That's right, we are live in Game 4 of this best of 5 finals. Having played an amazing last game, we are looking now... I've just messed that up, AE, I'm very sorry.
You were so excited about your last intro. Do you want to just do it again? Because we've had a bug splat. It knocks you off your rhythm. Okay, so everybody just pretend you didn't hear that. This is now a caster splat. Now, Stormus, you had a great first intro before the bug splat, and you're going to have another shot at this. I want to hear a hype intro for all 4 teams, and that means the game is then officially live. So 3, 2, 1. You're starting with Scotch in the north. Take it away, Danny boy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Game 4 of an amazing best of 5 finals in the 2v2 Masters Cup. Having lost the last game after a brutal and impressive display, it is Scotch playing as the Soviets, Nagano playing as the Brits.
And on the north side, currently with the Stern Pioneers facing the GG House, as mockingly called by Ed 80Hz. It is the Stern Pioneers of Isildur, and of course Von Asten in the north as the Wehrmacht. This is the pairing, this is the factions they like to go. And Dan, I've seen some incredible allied wins from Golpath 2, Nagano and Scotch in the past on this very map, Rails und Metall.
I agree, but if you look in that last game, we've got Nagano and Isildur. They're fighting the same part of the map from different sides, and it did not go well for Nagano in the last game. The first 5 minutes, I think he got 5 kills for 26 losses, so he's got a lot to do here against Isildur. Clearly, Isildur is his match, and that's going to be an interesting side to watch.
Western Front armies in the south with OKW versus the Brits. In the north, of course, it's that familiar battle from the Ostfront. It is Wehrmacht and Soviets. And this is getting very dramatic now, Stormers, because, of course, Von Asten and Isildur getting back into this game. 1-0 down. Nagano and Scotch leading at 2-0. They could win it very now, here in the present time. What are you laughing at? What are we hearing?
Nagano's just being classically annoying with this universal carrier. He's just like the back and forth behind all the cover points. It forced a retreat from Isildur. He's going to have to get out of there with all of his squads. There's no force at all from the OKW. And it's just very impressive.
I love that.
Funny.
I really love that. It reminds me of Jeep pushing from Company Heroes 1, which is when I broke my teeth watching this competitive scene. And it was all the rage. You had little Devem, a 12-year-old kid, with his little Jeep pushing the units out of cover. And then I'm sure that generated much rage and merriment. And here we are, 2019. And this time it's the Universal Carrier being a menace.
It is a menace. But doesn't want to get close to those Grenadiers for fear of the Faust. It's interesting, the Conscripts, I think, winning this engagement. They're going to have support from the recently upgraded Vickers on the Universal Carrier, just picking away the models of that Grenadier squad from a position that negates the cover. And these Conscript squads, I think, are going to be able to get up close soon. They want to try to get that fuel point on the west side. Beautiful play at the moment. Nagano, he seems to have solidified his position on the right-hand side. Sandbag cover on the right VP, just making it difficult for Isildur to get back on, but I think he's found a gap on a low-health Tommy squad by this truck.
An infantry section of Tommies has been trained.
Nice battle emerging on multiple fronts. This has much more of a widespread kind of effect, this particular game on Rails and Metal. It's all over the place in a huge line spanning the width of the battlefield, which admittedly isn't much, but we're seeing frenetic engagements and pitter-patter of machine gun fire all over the place.
I think, regardless of what's going on in the east right now, I think the real engagement to watch comes from the western side of the map. I keep saying this, but I really feel like Axis have to dominate that area where there's open space, where they can utilize the MG42, where they can get their vehicles maybe doing the most work. And, big rifle grenade in the center there, nearly taking down a conscript squad.
One man retreating to tell the horror of the tale of the awful noise of that spring-loaded rifle grenade. Meanwhile, Gren's are quite low, but it's only Muzzin Nagant's facing them down. We've got a good hold from Scotch in the north. He's great at holding the line with conscripts. He's done it all tournament long. And Dan, we've had it ruined, by the way. The whole idea of an ace tournament display of dominance from Nagano and Scotch. They're no longer going to get every single game being a win. They have lost one, and it was Scotch that threw in the towel, albeit quite prematurely, some would say. And yeah, there you go. We now find ourselves with Von Asten and Isildur on the resurgence, trying to take us into an ace game decider.
Yeah, Von Asten and Isildur deserve it. They fought from a tough position, 2 games down, and they fought confidently, and they got one hell of a win. There's nothing better than making your opponents rage quit in the finals of a huge tournament. I think that's a big psychological win for them.
It is, and it's an RTS staple term, of course, rage quit. It doesn't necessarily mean he raged, I guess. He could have calculated quit. could be pleasant,
perhaps,
quid.
yeah.
We just do not know. I wasn't correcting you, by the way. I was just acknowledging some people.
Oh, well, perhaps, yeah. I mean, we've been told it's a rage quit, so
That's
why
what
we're
we've told.
referencing it, but
Yes, indeed. Folks, Grenadiers are storming forth through the bushes, much like the Ardennes. Well, I suppose they're more trees, large, tall bushes. And here they come. Central engagement features of Grens running away bravely back to base. And in the north, these conscripts have just been bossing that victory point.
hey, look at the teamwork from Von Asten as he builds a medic bunker back at OKWHQ.
Oh yes,
It's
up
so
in the north.
beautiful.
He loves it. Yeah, they've
This
been
is
doing
what I
that.
love about 2v2. It's just family friendly.
Family friendly. I like that. So when you see heads exploding, you just know that it's due to good, honest teamwork, and that's a good moral to bring your kids. And when you hear the gargled scream of a soldier as he says, "I'm effing dying, please help me, put a bullet in my head," it's just gives you that wholesome feeling inside. Machine gun set up here. Shock troops throw the smoke grenade. Will they throw a retreat? No, there could have been a grenade there, but of course the timer's down. Pesky conscripts
not quite there quick enough. The flamethrower on the Pioneer, great timing as well, because they want that building control for the MG, and they got it.
They certainly did. Nagano and Scotch, by the way, this is their avenue of attack. It's always in this direction, coming from the southern. Oh, here comes the Puma to put a spanner in the works. However, it misses its follow-up shot thanks to the wall in the way.
Yeah, it was a good idea. Shame about the wall. But it just shows Universal Carrier's got to be a bit more careful than that. Shock troops in the north displaced the MG42 there, and Grenadiers are going to have to come and try and pick off these shock troops at range. But look at this map control. Great map control from Nagano and Scott.
2/3 of the map currently covered by the Gold Path 2 team. The Russian, the Frenchman are working as a supreme team. And they're living their dream. They're going to be getting $1,000 each should they win this game. And they'll be declared champions of the 2 vs 2 Masters Cup. You see it showing itself, but the Puma's worried about, well, it saw the 6-pounder. Great reactions by Silver.
I have a feeling that Axis are putting way too much focus on the right-hand side right now. It's possibly unwinnable in that at the moment. It's weird to be fighting there when fuel is perhaps closest to Nagano's base. It's easiest to be reinforced. Not 100% sure how I feel about that, but this is where you really need to see the teamwork come in. The players have to communicate. They have to build some kind of front line and keep moving it forward with that support platform. This is lovely from the Pioneers. Flamethrower through the smoke.
Yeah, lovely attack ground there. Shocks are just getting out of flame dot distance though, which is a technical term to describe the projectile matter thrown at them. And here we go in the east. Those Grenadiers with a sneaky house occupation, but of course not being able to get that many bullets downrange at the moment.
I think we're going to see the left side go at the moment. We've just seen a big retreat from Scotch. Hopefully Von Asten is on top of this. Should be able to take a lot of territory, and then when that happens, perhaps we can see some kind of movement.
Coming to meet that advance, of course, the conscripts, faithful backbone of the Soviet army, just steadying in position. Grenadiers going to have to unroot them. Meanwhile, still a ferocious, well, more conscripts. Let me just keep an eye on that, actually. They do have 18 aids, by the way, just to watch out for if any vehicles get too close. Back to Tommyland with the M2 flamethrowers on the back of one of those sappers.
I'm really liking the play here. Stern Pioneers, you see them jump into the building, jump out, a really quick way to move over some extra terrain fast. God knows how they get through that building faster than running around it. But somehow they do. And the Puma's right there, ready to support. Can either push off the Tommies or go down to pick off the Universal Carrier. 80 gun has to set up to try and defend against it.
Oh, and now it's decrewed, losing any semblance of veterancy it was thinking of getting. Meanwhile, in the centre, Grenadiers are dominating, and there's that push from Stormless, rightfully mentioned due to the retreat of Scotch. Now he's got the unenviable task of trying to retake that western flank of the map. Meanwhile, great attack by Isildur, playing as the OKW. This guy is looking strong. Nice dodge from the grenade there.
I've got chills, eh?
Oh.
My spine just tingled at this game. It was just seeing this kind of comeback. The Axis were pushed back into their base 2 or 3 minutes ago, and it only takes that one kind of big retreat from Scotch, and suddenly everything is changed. Everything's falling apart.
It's that moment when you're watching elite level sports. I know this isn't quite a sport, this is more an RTS computer game, but still, you get the feeling you're watching true masters of their craft at play. When you see a comeback of that nature in the early game after being pushed off the map, and they just use raw mechanical skill and tactical knowledge to re-get it, that's when you get the hairs that on your arm that Stormless currently has standing. I won't say erect, I'll say standing. Got too many children.
What I really love though, Von Asten's bringing over a little bit of support here with the Grenadier, at least because I think it allows him to use the rifle grenades to displace the Tommies. It's just a one squad, but that ability alone is useful in dealing with those Tommies in ways that the Volks Grenadiers cannot.
Oh, nice party nade by the Tommies. Sorry to steal your breath there. Indeed, and we're also seeing an attack as the shock troopers move in, Stormless.
Yep, those shock troops taking a great flank through the center VP. They're trying to get on the back of the MG42. And there goes the smoke. Here comes the shock troop charge. I hope Von Asten has seen that.
Oh, jumps in the house through one door, possibly out the other.
Yeah, hopefully, I think Von Asten will cover it with the other MG. He should do. He's got to set up now. And he hasn't. And actually now, because of that, both MGs have to retreat. See Scotch.
Good play by Isildur, by the way. Do you know what he just did? He allowed Von Asten just to see a bit more of the map. He put flares in the north, just to give Von Asten some reconnaissance so he could maneuver his escape a bit better. He just helped out his teammate. Von Asten needed help. Isildur supplied that help at the cost of 60 munitions, and that's just teamwork, baby.
Good teamwork from both sides. The map's starting to get under control again by allies now. They have a huge VP lead, about 221 VPs between them. So allies, I think, definitely in the lead spot.
Foes Grenadiers forced away. They can change in an instant, just like those Foes Grenadiers had to run away in an instant. They were previously capping the fuel point. In the centre, Grenadiers standing strong in the fiery face of combat engineer brutality. First medium tank makes its way onto the battlefield. It is this beautifully camouflaged Panzer IV with the spotting scopes about to emerge.
Yeah, it's just about to be met with a Cromwell from Nagano in the south. And I think actually the Puma is still around for Isildur. I think that'll probably be relatively effective still against the Cromwell. It's going to be backed up with a Stuka, which we've seen the Stukas perform very, very well today.
We have indeed. They have been the MVP unit of the entire tournament. He's lining up on this eastern flank. They really just want to push Nagano off and unroot him like the nasty growth he has become. The thorn in their side. Here comes 6 bombs high in the sky, in a perfect trajectory. No Tommies die. They just held strong, Stormers. They didn't run into it.
Yeah, that was strange reaction. One of the shells did land close to the Tommies, so fortunate there for Nagano that he didn't lose anything. But I'm pretty sure that Stuka is going to be an important unit in this game. Go back over to the west-hand side, by the way. The effect of having the Panzer IV arrive on the map is huge. And Scotch just couldn't deal with that with a T-70AT combo. Having to build tier 4 back in the base.
We have a British equivalent, the Cromwell, presiding over that southern flank. Of course, the advance from Isildur could harken. Oh no, that looks like the Axis are repositioning to the north, Stormless. They're going to try and solidify themselves there. They've given up on Nagano for the time being.
I think it's a good idea. Again, actually, a reversal of the stats from the last game. Nagano this time is leading over Isildur. with the kind of manpower battle that comes from the KD. So, yeah, probably a good idea at this stage, Axis. Get together, lock down the mid and the left, and fight that big battle. Spec Ops, Jaeger Armor Doctrine. We know.
We know where that's
exactly
going.
What's going?
Yes, we do. It's going to lead to reconnaissance overflights and half-track Regal anti-tank minestormers. Well noted.
So true. Wow, mine detection. So close to the Panzer IV there. Pioneers. Very, very thankful to have spotted that. Panzer IV here. There's a suppressed shock troop squad. It's going for the crush.
Quite get it off. No. Mortar support. Oh yes, just helping out Scotch as he's been pushed authoritatively off the west. But Dan, we've got to keep mentioning the victory point count here, because Allies have been able to hold the south and the centre for a concerted amount of time, and that could spell disaster for the Axis. They're even now starting to push north and try and claim this northern victory point, but the MG42 holds firm.
Yeah. I think Isildur is going to play an essential role here in taking the centre VP. He's also got to hold Nagano off, who keeps attacking from the flanks on the right now. And that's going to be tough. At the same time, Velasquez's got to hold that VP on the left. There's so much green cover, coming up to that VP. It's difficult. It's going to be hard for him.
Nice decrew and capture of the 6-pounder. Will they get away? The Puma is trying to give covering fire. The Cromwell's missed its mark. However, we do have the infantry section helping out. 6-pounders wheeling away. Oh, decrew just in the nick of time. The smoke popped. Did not help.
Yep, it's unfortunate. Probably didn't want to give that away, but
definitely, I guess. But that's still the double victory points captured for Nagano and Scotch. 150 and dropping. We also have an attack on the west side. The T-70 was going to help out to get rid of the MG, but the Panzer IV waited. Double reconnaissance.
a little bit of a lull point in the game as the players try to figure out what the next move of attack is. Isildur is just trying to capture that right-hand side. A couple of units now coming over to the centre. I think this is absolutely necessary because Von Aston, I think, is outmatched in the west. The T-70 is chasing back their support now from an Su-85, so the Panzer IV needs to be careful.
This Cromwell has been designated as the command vehicle of Nagano's army, and he is in command of the south. Reconnaissance flights dueling like kids' toys, going in circles around the bedroom. Oh, Grenadier on low health! Finished off by the shock troopers. Su-85 also pushes in to push away the Panzer IV. Here comes the Stuka-Zafus, obliterating that conscript squad in the centre.
He actually got the MG, I think. He got the Maxim.
Okay, the Maxim, fair enough.
2 full squads.
Wow.
That's huge.
Oh, got both of them. Okay, fair enough.
Both squads. That's like 12 kills in that one barrage. And that is exactly what you need to happen in this game situation. And I think, as we were saying earlier, that's why you don't rage quit in this game.
Certainly don't, because things can flip the game on its head. Just like that. Cromwell pushed away by the Roquette and Werfer fire. Puma watching on in the centre as the Tommies, all at Veterancy 3, are more than a match for it, and they're behind a lot of cover as well. Look at this UC just presiding over the south. More to cover, harassing the support weapons on retreat. This game is going down in flames for Aston and Isildur unless they can overturn the victory point situation.
It's going to be very difficult for them. There's still a lot of CP to come in, really, before we see the Command Panther, which is unfortunate because really all they've got to push with right now is the Puma and the Panzer IV. If both players are saving for late game, then that's it. You know, they have to make use of that. There's no rush for mid vehicles, and it's giving Allies a lot of time to build up in the centre.
Really, as conscripts are pushing into the northern quadrant, Grenadiers await Veterancy 2 with the LMG. They're just constantly harassing, constantly pushing all sides of the map. just creating issues. But the Tommies right now in the 6-pounder watching over the middle VP are the biggest issue. We did have a trench construction possibility. SU-85, by the way, watching over, just presiding over the western flank. Stormers,
Sorry.
What is the next tactical option that you see that's going to try and flip this into Von Asten and Isildar's favour? What options do they have available to them?
It's a tough one. Isildur's going to bring out the Command Panther. I think that one's for sure. The first thing he's going to have to do is go over to the right-hand side, but we've just seen the AVREs come in now. Plus, we got a Katusha in the build for Scotch. I mean, as far as teching goes, they're outmatched. And they're just not dumping units onto that center VP, which they need to get all that infantry there before that Katusha comes up.
Panzer IV racing into the center. Still, the central victory point is manned by the last remaining Vet 3 Tommy on the field at the moment. Nice grenade! First grenade is diminished. There are tanks watching over. One of them's a T-70, a veritable infantry destroyer.
Terrible retreat path, and I think a lot of luck involved in getting that unit out. But here's the AVRE.
Oh, first round. Is it a big one? It is. Good detonation there. Squad wiped. SU-85 tags in. Command Panther kept at bay.
I really feel like, you know, actually it's good now that they've got the Panzer IV Panther, they've got a Pack 40 coming into the center. I think they could probably keep this at bay if they deal with the infantry. They have to focus on that.
They have to focus on the victory points, in my opinion. Look, they're just tagging in combat engineers now, just trying to get into that central capping circle. Fair enough, they let it get neutral in this case, but they've already gotten down below 80 now. We're only 22 minutes, 40 seconds in. A bit more to cover on the retreat path there. Burn, baby, burn. Grenadier Inferno.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Actually, you see the MG34 from the OKW set up there to cover the VP. The mortar support comes down straight away and just allows those engineers to get to the point again. But look at the flank from the Command Panther right now. Is this going to be a big push?
It could well be with the AVREs watching over. That can do some damage. You want to keep out of that thing's range. SU-85. Sorry, no, my bad. The Zisgun kept them just out of reach. And now we've got shock troopers, Vet 2, with all the resiliency they have. And the smoke grenades also.
This is so tough. There's no munitions really for Axis, so they're not really able to utilize anything that's going to help here.
Scotch with otherworldly reaction speed then. He heard the Stuka and within a millisecond he'd moved his MG because it has the unset up time, disassembly time. Help me, Stormers.
The pack down.
Pack down time. Hey, well remembered. Good work. A little bit of caster's fatigue settling in. I've spectated around, I think this is my 18th game of the weekend.
A lot of games. A lot of love, a lot of passion, eh?
Thank you for your sympathy. Cromwell watches over in the east, just giving command vehicle aerial support, by the way. That's the reconnaissance you can currently see. If you're rewatching for the Grenadier, that means they're now down for 65 victory points. The Avery was just enough to say, nope, get the hell out of there, Grenadier. You know, unwanted soldaten.
I've got to say, I'm still feeling like Isildur could be doing more here. He's got the Command Panther in the center, I think that's a really big boost. But I'm a little bit worried. FX Von Asten has just called out the elephant, and I think this is the game changer right here. They've got to cling on to VPs and let that unit work its godly magic on this map.
Oh, it can be a godly unit because he's a pink elephant. To quote Dumbo, he's a pink elephant that's soon to be on parade. He's going to be trying to decimate some of these allied units. He outranges the Su-85 and he makes a mockery of everything else on tracks on the battlefield. Weapon crews are being lost in the east as we've got Stern Pioneers on the march. We've also got a huge retreat for Nagano's forces. Thankfully, a little bit of suppression ticks in due to the suppressing fire ability of the Universal Carrier. Loving it, Stormers. We've seen abilities at this stage of the tournament with all these players being on high adrenaline. only.
Absolutely. These guys have held on specifically for this late game combination that we're seeing now. The Command Panther, the Stuka, the vetted Puma, and the Elephant. It's amazing. They've got the flanking power. They've got the long-range heavy power. They've got the kind of the buffing unit. It's a really good combination. And there's the double VPs that are locked down. There's
Stormless.
Pressure.
It's a tale as old as time. It's Beauty and the Beast. It's the beauty of the early gamed allied play of Nagano and Scotch, and it's the Beast that is late game Panzer action, as we just saw a plane crash and take out a 6-pounder. That's the true Beast. RNG. Thanks for embellishing my analogy with a bit of reality there. Thank you, Relic.
Down on your luck. Here's a plane.
Oh, and there's an AVRE! They try and take the central capital, they succeed, but the AVRE gives them a parting souvenir, and that's the body parts and remnants of their squad.
Well, this is starting to look very promising. Allies are grouping up in the center. There's an Su-85 there. They're trying to pick out the Panzer IV. The Elephant, wow, big hit, main gun destroyed on that Su-85, rendered useless, and this is phenomenal, really. The plays here, they're tense.
They're very tense.
In the west,
Katusha fire.
Scotch is trying to get on that VP.
He is, and he's succeeding. Shock troopers are badasses. He's also backed up, by the way, with conscripts just plinking away. The centre is being taken, but as is the north currently. Meanwhile, there's an epic confrontation between the Brits and the OKW in the east. It's all going down.
What just went down, by the way? Is it a Puma? Was there another Puma or something?
Could be these Tommies on retreat, that's for certain. No, they dodged some of the Stuka rounds through sheer algorithmic power. And in the north, by the way, Panzer IV Vet 2 forces away the capping shocks, so Axis victory point count at 53 remains.
Just to let you know, it was the Cromwell that went down. So, yeah, that's a big loss, of course, for Nagano. He's only got really the UC and this slow-moving beast, the AVRE. And
speaking of which, nearly saw an anti-Puma spigot round there, or was the Petrod mortar, as they call him, Code 2. Oh, that's OP. Puma takes out the UC that somehow survived to this place in the game.
Typical enemy trick, isn't it?
Wow. Saw a plane nearly crash and kill 3 squads in the Brit HQ. Just an FYI.
Isildur here, does he really have the pop cap for another Stuka? Fantastic. So rip AT guns for.
Well,
Nagano.
he may as well, because if you look in the south at the moment, Scotch has just built 2 Katushas. 2 Katushas versus 2 Stukas. Here they come. And oh, it's right deep within the lines of that Vet 3 MG42. Elephant forces its way forward in a harrowing moonscape, kind of the upside down, as it's called in Stranger Things. And it is the beast that has its tentacles.
You can see here the MG42s from Von Asten. He's trying to move them into the center. It's a bit late, to be honest. Actually, there's a cap going on there that needs to be dealt with. Pioneers coming in from the west to try and help. But they've got to be really careful that they do not lose the VPs from here. They're going to be cocky and go for a triple careful.
Oh, Katusha's trying to get rid of that MG. Oh, but there's the Stuka. There's 1-man conscript remaining. Just saw a Zis go down and the 1-man conscript, of course, forced away. Nice crush from the Panther.
There's conscripts near the Elephant. They do have AT grenades. And there is enough health, I think, dropped off of the Elephant for them to throw that. I'm not sure if Scotch would go for it. Have they got anything to flank with anyway? I think he is. It didn't engine damage. Not enough health.
Oh, there you go. The Panther in the south are trying to crush Tommies and succeeding, waiting for the 6-pounder to come in just to help out. Don't want to lose a victory point, so that's wise by Nagano. Usually you would retreat in that scenario, but he can't afford to. Elephant forcing its way forward, stomping around, waiting for the Stone Pioneer to come up behind. Su-85 attains veterancy 2. It's got the Firefly backing it up. They can penetrate the Elephant, and they are doing so. Will they march on? The shock troopers giving them line of sight. Let's pan the camera down because this is becoming long-range engagement. We've got tulip rockets possible as well.
Oh, look at that. Stern Pioneers with that stun grenade, followed up by a rifle grenade. Elephant takes a shot at the T-70. T-70's now got to back out too, and they've just managed to keep it. Check out, by the way, in the west. The Puma, right on the retreat path, is going for the Katyushas. They could get
as the
T-70
T-70 goes down as well. Also, the Katyushas now bite the dust, and M5 tries to block it, but it's too late, Stormless.
That is a beautiful play, a well-deserved Vet 4. There's the smoke pop. Can it pick off anything else as well?
It may get the M5. He needs 3 shots possibly by the looks of things. SU-85's angry. Puma's getting out of here scot-free. He's getting away with murder. Cold-blooded murder. He goes forward for another shot. This is cheeky. He gets it! MVP Puma, Bet4 burns up and dies a martyr.
That was fantastic play. And now the Elephant's coming through the center, taking shots at the AVRE, which is just snared by the Grenadiers. And what a comeback this game has been. I'm fairly sure at this moment, even though it's 345 to 53 VPs, that we are going to see the ace game in this series.
Oh my lord. It truly is. And will Scotch regret that quit of Game 3? Will he be made to regret it by the resurgent Dutch master Von Asten and his trusty compadre? You've got Isilda with that MVP play of the tournament, Puma.
Let's not discount them just yet, because Caster's Curse is a terrible thing.
Only 53 victory points, don't forget. We've had the rug pulled from our carpets just as quickly as you say victory point cap.
Beautiful game. Beautiful. Really, actually, Axis want to get this triple cap more than just sitting on the 2 VPs and whittling down their opponent's forces. They want to go for the VPs that really make it a non-winnable situation. There's constant attacks on that central VP. And here comes more flame. Actually, this is an incendiary barrage from the Soviets.
It is indeed. So, a little bit of a rarity in this game so far. Got Panzer IV skulking around in the north, just trying to keep the victory point situation under control. So they've done great work to become in the ascendancy. Oh, that's a good win there by the Pioneers.
Beautiful. And the West VP, by the way, the Panzer IV's being forced to deal with shock troops trying to cap. Great positioning of the MG42. There's a lot of movement going there all the time.
It's a ferocious one to keep charge of. We've got Katyusha rounds coming in. On the Elephant's position, which is it's quite a good one because there are 2 support weapons currently flanking it. Oh, rear armor hit by the Katyusha. And it's great positioning by the 6-pounder. Will we see a Hail Mary shot? Oh, could have gone for it perhaps with an overshot there. It can happen.
Telling you, it's this Caster's Curse.
The enemy only have 50 points left.
Oh, the 6-pounder was trying to wheel away as fast as its little legs would carry it and couldn't quite get out of there in time. Oh, AVRE says, you're not capping anything, son.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
Well, here we go. Volks Grenadiers. Isilda's trying to push in with Volks Grenadiers support. So Command Panther support, but just behind it. And Command Panther, I think, with Mark Target on, can quite viably push. It's going to allow Von Asten to cap the center, which he is doing at the moment. Vet 3 Su-85 coming into the center, by the way.
Oh, this thing has both rate of fire and the penetration to back it up. Nice push from the Panther. Nearly takes out the Firefly. AVRE's and reloaded.
Getting that Elephant back on the field is essential. 2 Pioneers with the mechanized regiment from OKW doing repairs right now. Very important to get that unit back on. But we're going to see a triple cap, by the way. The triple cap's really important because it reduces that central pressure.
Roughly 1 VP per second will tick down now and will maintain some parity. They weren't able to finish the game off, but they were certainly able to get a foothold. Stukasavus with a huge barrage punishes the conscripts, but they remain in that circle, are now forced away finally.
A capture capture point is being overrun.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game. I think Axis are going with the offense is the best defense strategy. They're never actually just sitting back and letting the allies get close, because I think they fear that they're going to get outplayed. By the way, AVRE, big shot incoming. Oh!
Could have been a lot worse for those folks, Grenadiers. Good reaction times by Isilda. Triple cap is maintained. They will be able to reposition now, knowing that the AVRE takes a hell of a long time to reinforce. And you can see something building. This could be the winning unit. Scotch is currently building a mortar. A mortar provides smoke, and a smoke could provide the game-winning VP cap.
And he's cancelled it.
Ah! Caster's curse. There we go.
Oh. It's horrendous, isn't it? It's so embarrassing.
It is. It really is.
We're just like, the mortar, the perfect unit. Smoke can be deployed. Tanks can... I cancelled the damn thing. You've got to wait for it to be on the field, really.
Just glad that people are saying game changer with all the varying caps in chat. No, honestly, in a VP battle, more units you would not expect to matter can matter, but certainly I know what matters now. It's that bloody elephant. AVRE's cowering. Panthers coming in to finish the job. Oh, but the 6-pounder and the Fireflies were rating. The Panther overshoots. You've got a Rakettenwerfer stolen earlier on also.
That's risky, and you don't want to be risky right now. You really, really don't want to be risky. The AVRE goes down. Beautiful shot.
Amazing shot. Was that? That was the Panzer IV tagging in.
No, that was the command Panther. Got it as the turret was rotating.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it was very last second.
And they both escape, you're joking me.
Look at the health.
Oh no! The Panzer IV gets taken out by the Firefly at max range. There's so much going on, so much trajectory. So many big, heavy hitters at max range.
Just really take a second to look at the dominance here from Axis. They've got the
no, I can't. There's a Stuka. It was on the victory point. They got out of dodge, but yeah, take a second to look at the.
Yeah, that neutralizes the victory point as well. So
We have 200 points now.
was it theirs? Did he neutralize it when it went blue? That was quite cool.
Fair enough. There you go.
Well
Stuka. Yes, captures points are neutralized if hit, of course.
Yeah,
Sorry, it's not an ability I commonly use in my games, so that's pretty damn
it's
cool.
really annoying. Like they just captured the VP, neutralized it like straight away. Like it's really cool. Nice touch.
Nice touch indeed. I like it.
We're losing a capture point.
Funny that the Allies are trying to use long range to counter the elephant here. So, oh, and actually changed it. He was going for an Su-85, now going for another Katusha. Interesting.
Fireflies acting as a gruesome twosome. They're going to reposition to the north where that Schwer currently occupies the victory point. Is this their way to finish this Axis gruesome twosome off? Because they are like an 80s slasher pick baddie. You just can't seem to kill them, Von Asten and Silda. They keep finding their way to keep this game alive and to keep this series going.
Oh, this is beautiful. Going for the Panzer Schwerer with the Su-85 and Fireflies. It's going to go down quickly. There is a stolen 6-pounder, but not much else. Elephant's nowhere to be seen.
Nice capture in the east by the Wehrmacht. They're currently capturing the centre is Isilda's OKW forces and decrewing that AT gun. So again, more work being done by the Brit-Dutch combo.
I don't think there's much left in this, to be honest. The Axis are now building up their resources. They've got a lot of fuel bank. They can just get these units back on the field if they go down. And they've got this.
Takes down a Firefly, but it does get abandoned. Command Panthers in ultimate operation. Here comes the tank destroyer. The Vet 3 Su-85 coming in also. Panzer IV tags in. He's got more mobility. He's going to keep going. He wants to take out the other Firefly. It could be a suicide operation. Command Panther backs him up. Su-85 watches on. They don't get the kills. They do want to finish off the Firefly. They may pay for it with their very lives. No, because the Elephant has gone ultra aggressive, Stormers.
That is aggressive, but it's rightfully aggressive. Down goes the Vet 3 Su-85. That must be the last option that Allies had.
Certainly was. aviaries on the east. Can't do any crazy last-minute shots to try and catch them on retreat or anything silly like that. That is the last tank other than this lone Firefly in base, which is Veterancy 2. Wehrmacht just cleared house. Oh, there's the AT gun destroyer. It had the health to die thanks to the Stuka attack. 100 victory points are about to tick down to double-digit figures. We've got 43 for Axis with a superior army size and also the more recent lethality shown.
Dangerous for this AVRE to get as close as it is.
AVRE with a good shot though, but as you say, it's very dangerous because the Elephant, who's getting very close to Veterancy 3, which would make it quite frankly monstrous if it wasn't already, could finish it off. Elsewhere in the west, we've got Panzer IV keeping the control of the victory points. In the east, we've got a push from this Vet 5 Volksgrenadier. He's braving Vickers fire. Stuka's coming in to finish the job.
Actually, we've got the addition of the Panzerwerfer for von Asten. There really is no chance of capping it. A close range Panzerwerfer is horrendous, so I mean in a good way.
Panzerwerfer causing that MG issues. Marches on because that's the tense nature of this fourth game in a best-of-5 series. We've got the Elephant against the Firefly, the big Behemoth outranges and out damage is the Firefly and forces it away, and Axis still reigns supreme. We're talking Von Asten, we're talking Isilda, guys that have just been so good this year against the old guard of Nagano and Scotch, the greatest of all time for 2 versus 2 combat. Stormless, this could be going to the wire, this could be going to a 5th deciding ace game at this rate.
I'm quite certain at this point that we are going to see the ace game. And I think it's going to be a tough ace game for Nagano and Scotch. They've played 5 very intense games, and they're not the ones on a big, hyper, yes, we're winning streak.
No.
They're on the back foot in that regard.
Well, they dominated Crossing in the Woods, but then a questionable GG/L. Oh, nice! Julep rockets both hit! Panther's in peril, it's currently shocked, and the Firefly's doing the shocking. Gonna take it out with one last hit. No, it bounces! A rare bounce from a Firefly. The fella's up with the overshot, the Hail Mary. Panther out of control. Firefly gets the bounce and then follows up with a ruthless vengeance.
There is one hell of a fight going on in the center. VP Shock Troops trying to hold their own, and Von Asten is desperately trying to get units.
Oh, but the Panzerwerfer! Oh, the Vet 3 Shock Troopers bite the dust, and there's nobody to complete the cap. It looks like we are heading to an ace game. Oh my god, the Aviary takes out another foe. Stormless, this is all over the bloody place.
This is carnage. What carnage?
It's carnage, it's brutality, it's Company of Heroes 2. It is both finest and worst. This is what we came to see.
Absolutely, and they're just not stopping. There is no point in that these players are stopping this push. They see an opportunity, and Axis now rolling in after that AVRE. They've got great positions, the triple cap is back on, and the VPs we would never have thought are about to become even, and then in favor of Axis.
Oh my lord. And everybody, we now have a Veteran 3 Elephant, and as soon as it's Vet 3, it is able to take out the Firefly that was about to kill it. So, you know, reverse hype situation there. There's no chance to reverse, though. There's no relenting on this one, Storm. So we can try and go quiet for a moment, maybe, just to add some more effect to a final flurry of casting. Because these players deserve every respect. They deserve all the drama. There's no irony involved here. This is worthwhile of all the plaudits and all the destruction, as that Stuka absolutely demolishes that Tommy section. We've not seen that today yet.
Nagano has nothing left at this point. and they're still playing. I think that's the kind of desperation. To me, that says, you know, they're not sure they're going to win a game 3. They're really trying to make the most of this, but it isn't happening.
Katusha,
Amazing
Panzerwerfer exchanging blows. This is a slugfest. This is round 12 of a heavyweight title bout. And playback is over as Nagano and Scotch tick down to 0, and we enter the deciding ace game territory.
This is the 2 versus 2 Masters Cup.
Anyway, let's go like, wowee, what a game. And my voice is getting hoarse. I'm sure the cast is getting either the stream can go one or two ways, Stormers. Either they can accept Company Heroes 2 as this awesome epic RTS that gives you reasons to shout and spill your drink, etc., or they can see it as a silly competition between 4 guys who are taking it way too seriously. I am definitely in the former camp.
Absolutely. I mean, it's very tough, isn't it? Like, even just like casting these. The players as well have been playing like on fire. It's really good. To be honest, like these are the kind of games we want to cast. We love casting. It's great to have so many people here supporting it. Game 5 is going to be amazing. I can just sense it. You've got even this series has just told a lovely story. You know, you've got one team, Gold Pass 2, who didn't lose a single game until game 3 of the finals. You've got a comeback story with Von Asten and Isildur, who were 2 games down in game 3 and have just flipped it around. So game 5 is like, both teams have something to prove here. Both teams have shown that they can win 2 games in a row really, really well, play amazing strategies, and I don't think anybody could actually say confidently who is going to win game 5 right now. And we very rarely have that situation where we're like,
Wow.
Who is actually going to win? I don't know.
We can certainly make a straw poll, though, can't we? And we can certainly test your theory there. So vote with head. Who do you think is going to win? Nagano. This is me typing, by the way, as if you can't tell. Thanks for covering for me, Thomas. Please cover for me.
No worries, no worries. But yeah, obviously, great game. We see that classic rails and metal commander combination working. This is a classic combination of commanders that always work. The elephant's arrival in that game was just phenomenal. Like, I wanted to talk a little bit about that because there was a lot of kind of tension about, oh my god, these guys have not teched really. They've had medium vehicles out, just these for ages. They clinged on, they got drawn down to 50 VPs, and the arrival of that unit was unbelievable. Really, really unbelievable.
2 ways you can paint that story. Either it's a tale as old as time, Beauty and the Beast. The early game of the Allies being stupendously good from Nagano and Scotch. They love that map for Allies somehow. And then the Beast of late game Axis Armour, and you can just put it down to that, or you could watch the entire 50-minute cast as we all did live and appreciate the tense. It could have gone either way, and it was just awesome. So here's the second poll. This one time is vote with your heart. If one of the moderators could please copy the links, that would be great, and just spam them a few more times each. Stormless, I urge you not to look at the results. I want to talk a little bit more with you. Oh, you've already done that?
No, I haven't.
Oh, good man. Yeah, so we unveil them together, and we also guess what we think before we unveil them. That would be pretty cool. As you can imagine, I'm bloody knackered. I've been, if I haven't been commentating, I've been obsing, which means camera work. So you may have seen a bit of dodgy camera work in that previous game. I apologise halfway through, but it is very tiring activity. I don't apologise for shouting, though, quite frankly. Just rip headphone users. It's always been the case. I'd rather cast passionately and with a desire to be hyped than remembering to lean away from the microphone like some elite professional singer or something. I always forget, to be honest. Oh well. And we now have a 5-minute break. Stormless and I'll be right back after a break. And then we're going to be entering this hype ace game decider. So see you in a second.